Saturday morning cartoons. For many young kids, the peak of the entire week. Waking up, eating breakfast, and turning to your local PBS channel to see what the week has in store for your favorite characters. For me, it was different. Don't get me wrong, I've always been one for seeing my favorite characters transforming from everyday appliances to giant fighting robots. But I always saw past the excitement and wondered how someone could have thought, let alone create from scratch, such an interesting and fun world. Many years later, I still have the same questions, but now I have the ability to do something about it. For the last few years, I've learned and used many of the basic animation techniques that many of the greats use even today. I will give you an inside view of how much work and thought goes into this process. However, I do have limited time, so I'll only be able to go over a few of the rules. Because of that, I will be going over the ones that I use most commonly, though almost all of them are used throughout all animation processes. Squash and stretch. Squash and stretch is the most basic fundamental of the animation world. And as you can see from my figure that I got from animedesk.com, it's the most basic fundamental. As you can see, a ball. As you can see, it falls to the ground, and as it hits the ground, it squashes. As it comes back up, it stretches. That's the basic fundamental right there. And this is the number one thing that all animators learn when they're starting out. Now, don't get me wrong, squash and stretch is mostly used by me. I use it on a daily basis. However, it is not the most important, especially if you're doing character animation. In my opinion, action, reaction, and anticipation are one of the most important sets of rules for animation whenever it comes to character animation, just in general. There are three phases of this character animation. Like I said, anticipation, action, and reaction. And as you can see in figure 2, you can get a very good idea of what this actually means. As you can see in the first figure, you can see the anticipation of the character as he holds the hammer over his head. As he swings it down, that's the action being created, and the reaction as it bounces off. Now, as you can see, he's a little bit hurt, but that's the whole idea behind it, is to make yourself feel the same way the character does. And that's what these three things do, make you feel closer to that animation. Now, these next techniques are used heavily today. A lot of the time, they are thought of as only 2D techniques. However, 3D animation uses it constantly. This is the basis for almost all 3D character animation used today. Now, these three character animations and squash and stretch are really important. However, the most important, and it could just ruin the other ones just for you by not doing this one well, is follow through. Now, to reference my figure again from the last one, as you can see, as the hammer bounces back up, he gets hit. Now, follow through would be the idea of after he got hit, he started to shake from getting hit by the hammer. Maybe his teeth falls out, maybe he's so much pain that he can't even see straight. Maybe he sees stars. But the idea is to follow through on the action all the way. And you can see that better represented in the next figure, which I got from Amy R. Conley Animation at blogspot.com. A lot of these ideas are used widely. So I tried to find some references that were original, but they're so deep-seated in people that it's really hard to find anything original nowadays, especially whenever it comes to these basics. Now, as you can see, as the character punches, he goes all the way through, punches the dog, and as he punches, he continues to go down forward with his fist. This is a better example of follow through in the sense that he is literally following through with his punch. And as he keeps going down, he comes back up and plants himself permanently down. These are all examples of follow through. Now, without this, your animation can be dull, it can seem unrealistic, and it can just, in general, ruin the animation that you work so hard on. Now, as you can see, all these things work together. Without squash and stretch, you wouldn't have the ability to make your character react. Without the ability for action, you wouldn't have follow-through. All these things work together to create an amazing action. And you can actually read more about these rules and where they were actually created, which is The Illusion of Life, the Disney animation. And you can see that in my reference page below.